My fellow Americans, I present to you 7 rules which you must follow in order to be a devout statist that supports government authoritarianism. First of all, be afraid. Fear is the essential ingredient for every government program. Understand that if we don't pass this law or that regulation, then our society will surely fail tomorrow. It doesn't matter if you're afraid of the rich, the poor, the people that live in different geographic regions, the uncertainty of retirement planning, or the folks who just want to grow their own vegetables. The important thing is that you are really afraid of something and look to the government as the solution. Mother America is the only thing keeping you safe and warm. Second, do not think for yourself. Blind obedience and strict loyalty to groupthink is essential for any well-ordered society. Free thinking is dangerous. We must have elected officials and bureaucrats in government schools, ivory tower academics, and a handful of elites in the media to inform us of acceptable talking points to use during our narrowly bounded social discussions. It helps to be especially ignorant of history, economics, and philosophy. Third, deny the antecedent. You want to make sure to commit this logical fallacy every chance you get. It's a waste of time to try to imagine how something might work in the absence of state intervention, or how it might have actually worked in the absence of state intervention in the past. Any service that is currently provided by government can only be provided by government. There is no possible way that education services, unemployment insurance, or the provision of money could ever exist if not for the state. Obviously, it would be absurd to believe that the humans who currently construct the roads or deliver the mail would be able to do so if not for the direction of an authoritarian central planner. Fourth, compromise on principle for the sake of expedience. There is no absolute truth. Since all morals are relative, it does no harm to compromise your values for any perceived short-term gain. We must be practical if we want to make progress. Everyone knows that you must give to get in politics. This is why the 2 major political parties in the U.S. are such a model example. You give us your welfare, and we will give you your warfare. You give us our warfare, and we will give you your welfare. Obstructionists who rigidly cling to principles merely impede the glorious growth of the state. Fifth, make utopian promises. If only we had more government, we could eliminate all problems and we could have all benefits. The state, and only the state, has the unique ability to transcend the economic law of scarcity and deliver an infinite abundance of goods and services at no cost. Every problem in the world is the result of free market failure. If a government program fails, it is because there were not enough resources dedicated to its success. If any government solution fails to fix a problem, it is just evidence that the problem was much worse than we had thought. Things most certainly would have been all the more disastrous without the government stepping in to save us from the abyss. Our progressive march to utopia on Earth is impeded by extremists and ideologues who want to limit the size and scope of the state. Sixth, grab it before someone else does. The world is like a giant piñata with a set amount of candy inside. When that papier-mâché donkey spills its contents out to the ravenous public, you better use both hands to get yours. Statists understand that economics is a zero-sum game. For every winner, there must be a loser. Since there is only a set amount of goods, if that one person had something, it must mean that they took it from another. If one person is wealthy, it must mean they exploited the weak. The state helps to make sure everyone gets their fair share of candy. But while we're waiting for true equality, it's okay to use the state to get as much from the system as possible. Politics is an excellent way to internalize benefits to yourself while externalizing costs to someone else. And finally, seventh, use violence to get what you want. Ultimately, it is violence or the threat of violence that is backing every government program. There are great lessons we can learn from young toddlers who don't waste their time with rational persuasion. Like an unruly child, you should hit, scream, kick, bite, and take what you want. If you're too weak or cowardly to use physical violence on your family and neighbors, you can always look to employing the blunt force of the government to make other people bend to your preferences. Thank you, and God bless America.